YouTube, it's Maddie the Emptiness Scrapper. Welcome to my channel. I'm so glad you stopped by. It's my first time back in 2026 and I'm here to share with you an annual video that I do beginning of the year. It's still close to the beginning of the year, I hope. And that is my favorites. What are the supplies that I go to year after year? Not what came out new that I like, but certainly if something is new and I really like it, I'll feature it on one of these annual overviews. But right now, I'm gonna go back to what I really like to use and reach for time after time. A lot of my picks are also driven by budget. So bear that in mind when you see what I have chosen. For example, I'm going to start with paper. This is my go-to heavyweight paper for card bases in white, cream, black, and craft. It's Recollections 110 pound. Noted right there, not to be confused with all their other sizes, and it's 300 GSM. You get 100 sheets. The regular price, which you will never pay, is $20 for this 100 sheet. You can almost always get buy one get one half price, or have a % off full price item coupon that you would be able to use. So I like this paper. I feel it's a great all-around paper. It's not the best paper, but it certainly is a respectable, hefty paper. You do have to watch out for it being cut exact. I've many times had issues with my card bases only to find out that, you know, it was not exact, either straight or size. Still, time and again, this is my go-to for card-based paper, and a lot of the techniques work great on that as well. In regard to ink blending, if I really have a blending project in mind, this is my go-to, Bristol Smooth by Strathmore. It's pretty pricey. They give you 20 sheets, so I am pretty careful about which projects I choose for that. But it's they're large sheets, so you can get quite a few panels out of this this particular one, which is 9 by 12. And this one for watercolor. So if you're going to use like watercolor pencils, watercolor crayons, straight up watercolor, you can't beat the value in this pack. This is Royal Langnickel Be Inspired. You get it at Walmart. 50 sheets, I think it was $10, $12 maybe. It's pretty good. I am not a watercolorist. I do also have in my stash some 100% cotton paper, which this is not. But I will be trying different papers. This one works pretty good, and I'm gonna say will be used more often than not on any of my watercolor endeavors, being I have had relatively good results, a huge amount for a small price. So pick that up if you're not a, you know, watercolor artist looking for certain specific effects that I probably don't even know about. So that's it on the paper. I'm going to move straight over to inks. Next, for things that I go to on the regular, just gonna pick some inks. These are the ones I keep right in front of me. So these are Distress Oxide I use them for mainly ink blending, but on occasion for stamping as well. They work beautifully for ink blending. I will use these Amazon brushes. I have for years. They've served me very well. They are super reasonably priced. And you can see I have a variety of different ones in here. These come in a pack. They're color coded. And I think at the time I got maybe a dozen for $10. They might have gone up to like $12. But for me, they work great. In addition, I bought these little guys for detail work. They also work great. And I've got some of these mini pouncers that from time to time, maybe on a stencil, I will use. And also an Amazon pick. Look up any of those and you'll find them very reasonable. This is not one of my favorite things, but I do like to play with it. And this is just a brush rack, I believe, from Dollar Tree. You put it together, and I put a Lazy Susan on the bottom. I can't flip it over; everything will fall out. But I think the Lazy Susan was 2 for $5. So I've used that to store my brushes for many, many years. Also, one of my favorites, I'll pick this one because it's in front of me, but typically for sentiment stamping, I'm going to use VersaFine Clair. Comes in about 36 colors. I go to the black and use it on almost every card that I make. And I generally like to emboss my sentiments. If I'm stamping a sentiment, I will emboss with this clear, and any color I pick will come through. It's fantastic. I do not have like a drawer full of different colors of embossing powder. I just pick a color from VersaFine and clear over it. I have a few little different kinds with sparkles and such, but this Ranger clear embossing powder, I've had it for I don't know how many years. It's still going. I've got about a quarter of a tank left, and easy 10 years on this thing. So I can't recommend that enough. It certainly has served me well. So moving right along. Next up that I wanted to talk about today was die cutting machines. I have too many die cutting machines. I fully admit it. I went through a learning curve. Yeah. This was the first die cutting machine I ever had, and I still use it. The problem with this machine, and the reason I went to other machines to try, was that it would curve its plates. So the plates got ruined. You couldn't use the machine without proper plates. And until I found the proper, here, let me pull that out. The proper sandwich. So this is what I pretty much use for my sandwich. It's a Sizzix plate, a double-sided plate. This thing is like magical, this plate. I did a whole video on it. It was made by iCrafter that went out of business, and I was able to find that quite a long time after. If you Google it, you may be able to find that this puppy is magnetic and not a bend to it. Sometimes I use shims. This is from a Dollar Tree cutting mat. I just shim it up. I have a few of these. I've cut them to size. And then another plate. I believe I don't use this plate. I just pulled it out. I had that with my plates. But that's my sandwich. And I love it. I also have used very successfully a different sandwich utilizing the Magic Mat. That'd be this guy right here. And it worked fabulous for years until I found out about the iCrafter. And because it's magnetic, I do favor that one. But in the interim, while I was trying to figure out what was best for me in die cutting, I happened across this little guy. This one is really my favorite of all favorites. Cuts like a dream. This is the Anna Griffith Mini. It is a workhorse. It's got a smaller opening, so it will handle probably 80 to 90% of what I throw at it. What is too large for this, I go back to the Gemini. But this, I believe, is a 4 1/4 opening. And so almost anything for an A2 card will fit in there, light as a feather, even for me. And I have strength issues. I have mobility issues. I got issues. So can't recommend that enough. Now, that one was kind of pricey. I got it on sale at HSN. It was $100 shipped. And I believe it was $129, and I had a on sale for $129, and I had a coupon. So that was one of the best purchases I've ever made, if you're keeping track. Now, the one thing that I recently added that I was sure I didn't need, I just got it anyway a couple of years ago. This little guy, the Sizzix Sidekick. This is the Tim Holtz version, and I keep it on my desk. It suctions down, which is fabulous, and it cuts with little difficulty for strength issues, because you can only use small, little die cuts. It takes about 2 seconds because the plates are like this big. Let me see if I could grab a plate. Maybe yes, maybe no. Let me see. Yeah. So that's the size of it. It's nothing. Here it is in relation to my hand. So it takes 2 seconds, and whatever little sentiment you have is cut in minutes. So I thought I didn't need it. I don't need it. Certainly all of my die cuts will go through the larger machines, but this is quick and easy, and I didn't think I should pick it up. I didn't use it for like a year, and I'm telling you, I'm not sorry I got it. And I use it a bunch more than I ever thought I would. Okay, let's talk glue. So here are the glues on my desk right now. The PVC, which currently is using the original tip from Art Glitter Glue, and I just swapped them. And Barely Art is currently using the tip from the PVA glue, the PVA glue. If you ask me, all these glues are the same quality at holding paper together. If you just want to hold paper together, I'm sure Any glue that you find is going to be absolutely fine. This one is most cost effective. My biggest problem is finding a tip that works on any of them. I have not tried the glue press yet. I've been thinking about it because I've got a heck of a time getting the glue to come out of the bottle. I hope I'm not the only one. I feel like I see people talking about it all the time, and I'm on board with that. Can't make it happen. I threw this one here because I really like it a lot. This is the Nouveau Crystal Glaze. I don't know if they still make it, but that's the stuff you throw on top of things to make it look glossy. Same as Glossy Accents. This one I found does not really yellow like Glossy Accents tends to yellow on me, so I like it. I use it, and I recommend it. Next thing that I would like to talk about is along the same vein. Foam tape. These are the 3 that come in a Dollar Tree pack, all different widths. $1.25 for all 3. These are all partially used. And this one is on its own from Dollar Tree. Can't recommend it enough. I've heard people complain about pulling the release, and not a problem for me. And I got lots of hand problems, so I don't know what there's going on for other folks. But for me, I'm telling you to try it if you haven't, because I think it's awesome and a great deal. So moving on from adhesive type things, I want to talk about paper trimmers. Oh, one thing I forgot with the ink blending. This is a newer recommendation, and that is a sticky mat. If you haven't tried a sticky mat for ink blending, oh my goodness, you're in for a treat. Pick up any one of them. Lots of companies are making them now. This is the one that was originally made for the stamp wheel. It's the Ultra Sticky Mat. Here, I don't have the stamp wheel, but I do have the sticky mat. You just put your paper on there. It sticks like magic. You blend away. It doesn't move at all. This, if you have a glass mat, I had this glass mat for years. Any crafter will recognize this is the Tim Holtz. Lots of them came before and after, but this is the one I use, and it will stick to your glass mat, and it will absolutely hold down your project and let you ink blend without difficulty whatsoever. So, going along with that, I'll go right into my favorite stamp positioning tool, and that is the Stamp Perfect. So, I cannot recommend stamp positioning tools enough. If you have one, great. If you love it, use it. This is the one I love. It came out before the lawsuit. You can see it's got a hinged door and it's thin. And the reason I like it better, because I do have the Misty. After a long time, I was gifted the Misty, and I just wanted to see, was there any real difference? And what I found out was the Misty has a heavier door. And with the heavier door, I found it harder to have a good impression. The thinner door lets your pressure come through. So this one, which cost me like $11 as opposed to $50 for the Misty, can't recommend it enough. You can buy a sticky mat to go in there. That's what made me think of it to do this one next. So Stamp Perfect, I have a bunch of stamp positioning tools, and many of them are good. Among them is the Misty. It's not my favorite one. The Misty isn't, but if you love it, you use it. No need to get more. I did, however, see today, January 2026, that this Stand Perfect was on Amazon US for $39. It's still a deal compared to the Misty. So that's up to you. But I highly recommend a stamp positioning tool of any kind. I've seen people who love the stamp wheel, so I cannot comment. I don't have it. I didn't feel I needed it, and I'm happy with what I got. So that's my take on stamp positioning tools. And let me put this aside, and we'll move forward with the next recommendation. And that is, I think I'm going to go with paper trimmers. So this is my go-to for paper trimmers. And scissors. And trimmer for my 12 by 12 paper. So, regard to trimming paper, if you use 12 by 12, you're going to need something large. I've been using this Fiskars. I see I'm holding it upside down for you. I've been using this Fiskars maybe since 2007 when I started paper crafting. It's the original one. I love it. There are plenty of people still using it. Plenty of people who are complaining it doesn't cut straight. Or, yeah, it doesn't cut straight. Or you have to replace the blades. Fully aware you have to replace the blades. I'm fine with it. For this one, I think most people are aware there is a wire guide. It's a grid. Let's see if I can show it to the screen. If you've never, no, that's not going to show it. Maybe white. Maybe white will help me out. So, if you're not familiar with the wire guide, I'll hold it up close. See if you can see. There's a little wire in there. There. You can see it now. I am a scrapbooker. I do like to be super precise with cutting my photos from time to time. And so that's really not much about card making. That wire guide is something that I feel is most useful for scrapbooking. But if you have pattern paper that's 12 by 12, you're going to need something to cut it. For me, this does the job. I'm happy with it, and I have been for many years. If you don't, for whatever reason, didn't care for this, you do you. But, of course, I recommend you have something large enough to cut 12 by 12 if that is in your craft room. Okay, this one, almost every crafter is familiar with. It's the Tim Holtz smaller trimmer. It's not the smallest trimmer, but it's super handy, very useful. I like it, especially because it has a bar at the bottom, so you can cut from the bottom. For some reason, I like to cut from the bottom better than the top, and that's the reason it's one of my favorites. It's also super light and handy to use. These are the scissors, and this is a surprise entry. It's just from Amazon, and it's a craft knife that you can put your finger through. I did not think I would be able to maneuver this thing at all, and I absolutely love it. Love it, love it, love it. These are my Fiskars scissors. They are, treated so that glue won't stick. They are fine for almost everything. I pull them first, pretty much. These are my Tim Holtz. I have them in 3 sizes. I don't like having to take off this thing that I can't even get off right now. Oh. But they are super sharp and will cut through more. I have the larger ones, I have the smaller ones, and these are the mid-size. If you do want to cut chipboard or something more difficult, fibrous than paper, this is a great tool. So I'm going to put those aside because that's all I got for scissors. I did forget something for adhesives though, and I'm going to circle back right now because it's staring right at me. This guy I use on almost every project. I can't believe I forgot him because I hadn't pulled him out because he's so big, and that's why some people don't like him. But this is the Scotch Advanced Tape Glider, the ATG gun. If you've been crafting a long time, you've got one already or one like it. Before this one, there was like yellow and red, and it was used for framing. Still used for framing. They stopped making this pink one for crafters, which was a more reasonable price, and broke my heart when I saw it was not available because I wanted my daughter-in-law, a new crafter, to have one. But they don't make these anymore. If you have one and you love it, tell me in the comments. It's a love-hate thing. Some people love it, like me. There's no more reasonable tape to get. I order my tape from Tape Jungle. I have for many years, and it's cost-effective, and it is an effective adhesive. I always pair it with liquid glue on top for most effective use, and also because you can move the paper if you have a liquid glue on top. So I apologize for forgetting that one. Okay, this is a cutie. I'm gonna grab a bunch of little things, I guess. We're moving towards the end of my list, but I'm gonna grab them all. Okay, so first up, I have the famous Pokey tool. So this is what it looks like. This beautiful Pokey tool was made for me by Abraham. Thank you, Abraham. It's lovely. So, but each of these tools, and I'm not going to open the point here because this one doesn't have a protector so you can see it. So this is super useful for poking out your little die cuts. I do enjoy this one as well, from Tonic by Tim Holtz by Tonic, and that one is retractable, so you can take the point out and put it back away, and that's nice for bringing to crops, so you don't have to worry about little safety thing coming off or you poking yourself. So I just wanted to talk about that for a second. Oh, this is my other craft knife. Been using this one for years also. So if you're not gonna be cutting out intricate pieces, this knife will do the job. Also, I love that it's retractable and comes in a package 3 off Amazon last I saw, and I haven't looked in many years, so it may be there, it may not be. Also, I almost always use these reverse tweezers by EK Tools. I don't know if they still sell this one, but the idea is you squeeze it and it opens just like that. And I find that very helpful with my shaky hands, and I use it for a ton of projects. This one There are billions of different kinds of these, but this is the one I've been using and it works for me very well. So this is a pickup tool, and there's a metal piece here and a wax end here, and it comes with extra wax heads, and you can just pick up something small and place it on your project. Over time, I found that you need to replace these from time to time, but lasts for a really long time and it works super well. Okay, this is my let me get the other one also. My this is the tool that I had used for many years. It was by Martha Stewart, and you would be able to put your paper and find where you want to put your crease and just crease your item. This one, the problem is that the numbers on this side is not really marked in black like this side is. And I had trouble. Also, I'm sorry, I was looking at that. There is a guide for making envelopes, which I did try and I could not figure out for the life of me. But I used this for many years to crease my card bases. And I'm going to throw this in my crop bag because it's nice and small and handy. But I switched to this one, and as you can see, the numbers here are super easy to read. Super easy to read. So if you're creating card bases, and sometimes I like to fold a card base on its side and use this edge. And this edge is taller here. So if you want to create card bases, when I'm creating card bases, I reach for this one. The other one I'm going to put, as I said, in my crop bag. Easier to travel with in case I want to make a fold. But to burnish edges, this is the tool I've been using for the last few years. I also like these Teflon bone folders. Got this one on Amazon. Was expensive for what it is, but I think I was able to find it for like $7. So I treated myself. You don't have to replace it unless you lose it. Nothing's happened to it. And I love this one for burnishing the edges. It's just easy on the hand. And I also got this one on Amazon. I think it says Craft Smart or something, but whatever brand you find that the best price is, I don't think you have to replace this. I don't think one brand is better than the other. Just have a look and choose what's available in your budget. So whoops, sorry for that. Sorry for that. That is sort of squeaky, huh? So those were the scoreboards. I'm sorry. I just could not, for the life of me, remember what we call it. This is the very last thing on the list, and this is a newer thing on the list for me, and that's for coloring. And I do have these Faber-Castell Abertura watercolor pencils, and they are luscious. I had been using the Inktense, and they're fabulous. I love the Inktense. Once it's dry, it's permanent. But there are times that I find that permanent is not what I need. What I need is something flexible that lets me come back and rework. And this one does the trick for that. So if you are feeling as if you want a permanent pencil that if your card gets caught in the rain, it's not going to run and you feel comfortable with that, by all means, pick up the Inktense. If you are feeling more as if you're going to hand deliver it and you are not comfortable with it being permanent, I just pulled one of the watercolor papers so I can demonstrate a bit for you. So they go on beautifully. I'm just going to scribble. But this is watercolor paper. So this is actually the one I showed you before, Be Inspired. And then here, let's take a pink. And what I'm going to do is leave some strong marks because I want you to see how easily those marks disappear. And these, just so you can see, will have little handles. So unlike my Prismacolors, and I don't have the watercolor Prismacolors, just the standard Prismacolors, I have to fiddle with that tray. These have a lovely tray. Just one more color, and I'll show you all of these and liquefy them for you so you can see what I'm talking about. The first thing is they liquefy beautifully, almost immediate. But for me, the main thing that I look for in my water media is that these strong lines, after you draw them, disappear. So let me grab a water brush and hope that there's water in it. Let's see if we have one. Okay, just a standard water brush that comes like for free with your stuff now and again. So just going to add water and let you see how quickly that liquefies. Look at that. Look at that pink. Beautiful, right? Let's get a paper towel and keep those colors, with integrity. Okay, let's do the blue, a little bit darker. And I really press down on that pencil so those lines wouldn't be super easy to make disappear. But look at that. You don't see a single line there. And effortlessly. Last one is the purple, and that's the strongest color. So I'm going to just add water with this, just a standard water brush and inexpensive watercolor paper. I mean, look at that. No lines to be found. Not a single. It blends beautifully. It is light fast. I love them. They're my favorites. And they're newer to me. So that's a recommendation I hadn't given previously, but I recommend them highly. They're super fun. They're high quality. They're permanent pigments. And I just can't tell you how much I enjoyed using those. So those are my picks for all of 2025. And as I said, I know most of my picks are not new, but if it ain't broke, I don't fix it. Hope you enjoyed that. Leave me a comment. Tell me what your favorites are. If you have recommendations for me, I'm always looking for new fun things to play with. And don't forget to leave a comment, thumbs up, share, and subscribe. Have a great day. Bye-bye, YouTube.